Have you ever wondered about a world where Hitler was a painter? Not the signatures written from his pen about the war, but the paints against the canvas. When we look at Adolf's real-life story, he talks about having an emotional breakdown after not being able to enter the Academy of Arts. It is said that he lived in poverty later on. During these times of breakdown, he was introduced to anti-Semitic or anti-Jewish ideas. When World War I broke out, he joined the war and later joined the Nazi Party and rose to leadership in a short time. Adolf had a deep passion for art since his childhood. He was especially interested in architecture, historical bridges, and magnificent buildings. While he was very successful in drawing such figures, he was a bit weak against human figures. Now let's take a journey back in time. Let's go back to the time when Adolf knocked on the door of the Vienna Academy of Arts. Adolf, who was rejected in 1907, was at that door again in 1908 against his father's authorities. He waited for his turn as if his heart was going to jump out of his chest. This time he worked even harder to win, filling his textbooks with drawings of monuments, bridges, and buildings. The board members examined Adolf's drawings at length. His inadequacy in human anatomy was obvious, but the buildings he drew seemed ready to jump off the paper to rise. After the board members talked among themselves, one of them nodded softly. The decision was made. Adolf Hitler was accepted to the Faculty of Fine Arts. The streets of Vienna had become even more meaningful to him. The buildings had become more magnificent, the domes more magnificent, and the bridges had begun to look more aesthetic. According to Adolf, each structure now had a soul, and Adolf wanted to touch those souls one by one. Like many people who had financial difficulties in their academic lives, there was a Vienna where anti-Jewish ideas were whispered on the streets. However, even though Adolf heard these, he did not pay attention to these rumors. In 1914, war came knocking on the door. Adolf was also in a position to join the war for his country, but the Academy provided protection to its talented artists. That's when Adolf grabbed his brushes instead of guns. He told the darkness of war not with bullets, but with brush strokes. He told the story of every structure he saw in the spirit being destroyed by the blows of war. After years, those paintings had now become an exhibition. Adolf Hitler was making his name heard again, but this time as an artist. He had a full life full of art. He opened important exhibitions, he gave trainings, and the world wrote a less fragmented history with him. In such a case, the Nazi Party might not have gone this far. There would still be nationalist movements in Germany, but they would not have had a charismatic and radical leader like Hitler, and World War II might not have even happened. The world would have experienced a very different, perhaps less traumatic century. But still, problems such as nationalism, racism, and economic crises could have somehow shown themselves. What about you? Have you ever thought about how doors that are closed to you, events that touch your life, or happy news that you can ultimately impact the world? This is the Hitler's Art Way story that we call What If? If you have a what if idea, please leave it in the comments. Let yours be the next story.